Ozempic, Wegovy, Zebound practically own the weight loss market, and a pharma giant wants to join this lucrative club. I'm talking about Pfizer. It has been developing a weight loss drug of its own, not an injection but a weight loss pill. But now that plan has been scrapped. But there's a major problem that patients face. Leading brands like Wegovy and Zebound are injectable. There are a lot of patients who can't inject themselves daily, so drug makers have been working on the next best thing. A pill that's easy to take. They've stopped making their daily weight loss pill. This pill was a big deal, promising hope for millions struggling with weight. But then came the bad news: liver problems. Yeah, not good. The news hit hard. People were excited about this pill. It offered a simple daily solution to a complex problem, but the potential side effects outweighed the benefits. Pfizer had to act fast. Celebrities are slimming down. Tabloids are wondering which drug they're taking, and Ozempic, Wegovy, Munaro and Zebound are quickly becoming household names. Weight loss drugs are a lucrative market, expected to reach about $150 billion in a few years. And these drugs hold a lot of promise, especially as by 2035, more than half the global population is expected to be overweight or obese. It didn't burn fat, it didn't block calories. Ozempic, Wegovy, Munaro, Zebound worked in the shadows, rewiring hunger itself. Scientists had spent decades attacking obesity from the outside, shrinking stomachs, punishing metabolisms, fighting fat cell by cell. But Zebound took a different path. It slipped past the blood-brain barrier like a master hacker, targeting the dorsomedial hypothalamus, the brain's ancient appetite control center. The effect was eerie. Patients described food noise, the constant mental chatter about snacks, cravings, seconds, suddenly muted. A chocolate bar left half-eaten, a dinner plate cleared, but not scraped clean for once. For people who'd spent years locked in battles with their own hunger, it felt like cheating nature. The miracle reports. A truck driver who'd eaten gas station taquitos daily for 17 years now packed salads. Voluntarily nighttime binge eaters waking up to find unopened fridge doors. The universal shock: I forgot to eat lunch. Doctors called it neural appetite disruption. Patients called it magic, the catch because there's always one. But whispers crept in. The 4 a.m. wake-ups. Was Zebound messing with sleep cycles? The flat effect. Some users reported feeling too detached, even from joy. And the big one: what happens when you stop? The media oscillated between breakthrough headlines and "is this a brain hack or a time bomb?" op-eds. Zebound wasn't just a pill, it was a philosophical grenade. If hunger is the compass of survival, what happens when you silence it? Yet for millions, that question paled next to the 60-pound weight losses, the reverse diabetes diagnoses, the first taste of freedom in decades. Ozempic, Wegovy, Munaro, Zebound wasn't a diet. It was a quiet revolution. One tiny pill, whispering lies to the oldest part of the human brain. And the world was desperate to believe them. No crazy diets, no insane workout routines. Imagine saying no to fad diets and punishing exercise regimens, and instead relying on a daily pill to do the heavy lifting. For many, it sounded almost too good to be true. The idea of losing weight without sacrificing your favorite foods or spending hours sweating in the gym was incredibly appealing. It was a promise that resonated with anyone who had ever felt defeated by the scale. Just pop a pill and watch the pounds melt away. The simplicity was seductive. Take your medication with breakfast, go about your day, and let the science work its magic. No need to overhaul your routine or give up the little pleasures that make life enjoyable. For those who had struggled for years, this was a revolutionary concept, a chance to finally break free from the cycle of weight loss and regain. At least, that was the idea. The hope was palpable, but so was the skepticism. Could a single pill really deliver on such a bold promise? Patients stared at the bottle, torn between excitement and doubt. After all, the history of weight loss treatments is littered with disappointments and false starts. It tricked the brain into feeling full, reducing cravings and leading to weight loss. People reported feeling less tempted by snacks and sweets and found it easier to make healthier choices. For some, the change was dramatic. They could finally walk past the bakery without a second thought or leave food on their plate without feeling deprived. The pill seemed to offer a new kind of freedom, one that went beyond the number on the scale. It seemed like a miracle solution, a magic bullet in the fight against obesity. Doctors were excited, patients were hopeful, and the media buzzed with stories of rapid transformations. But as with all magic bullets, there's always a catch. The promise of effortless weight loss came with questions about safety, side effects, and long-term effectiveness. Could these pills really deliver on its promise? Or would it become just another chapter in the long history of weight loss disappointments? As the world watched and waited, one thing was clear. Hope, for now, was still bottled up in a tiny pill, and the story was far from over. Before any new drug can be made available to the public, it must first pass through a long and complex journey of rigorous testing and evaluation. This process is designed to ensure that the medication is not only effective, but also safe for the people who will eventually use it. Scientists in state-of-the-art laboratories spend years developing and refining potential treatments, carefully analyzing every compound and ingredient. They run countless experiments, looking for the right balance between benefits and risks. Only after these early stages does a drug move forward to the next critical phase. This next step is known as a clinical trial. Clinical trials are the gold standard for testing new medicines. They involve real people, volunteers from all walks of life, who agree to help researchers understand how a drug works in the human body. These trials are carefully planned and monitored, with strict rules to protect the health and safety of every participant. You can think of a clinical trial as a highly controlled science experiment, but instead of test tubes and petri dishes, the subjects are real people. Before anyone can take part, doctors and researchers explain every detail of the process, making sure volunteers understand the risks and benefits. Participants sign detailed consent forms, agreeing to be part of this important research. Thousands of volunteers from all backgrounds signed up, many of them motivated by the hope of finally finding a solution to their struggles with weight. For some, it was a chance at a healthier life. For others, it was an opportunity to contribute to science and help future patients. People were stepping on the scale and seeing real changes. For many, the pounds were coming off steadily, and there were no major warning signs or dangerous side effects in the beginning. The mood among the research team and the volunteers was hopeful and optimistic, but as the trials continued and more data was collected, the picture began to change. Doctors started to notice patterns in the test results that raised serious concerns. The research team gathered for urgent meetings, reviewing patient charts and discussing what they were seeing. Some participants began to show signs of liver problems. Routine blood tests revealed abnormal liver enzyme levels, and a few volunteers needed additional medical tests like ultrasounds to check for damage. These were not minor issues. Liver health is critical, and any sign of trouble can be a major red flag. This development was a significant setback. The emergence of liver-related side effects was a big problem, one that could not be ignored or brushed aside. The research team now faced a difficult decision: how to balance the potential benefits of weight loss with the very real risks to patient safety. The story of these pills, like so many new drugs, became a reminder of just how complex and challenging the path to medical breakthroughs can be. The liver is your body's detoxifier, working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep you healthy. Every day, it filters out toxins, breaks down harmful substances, and processes everything from the food you eat to the medications you take. Without your liver, your body would be overwhelmed by waste and poisons. It's one of the most vital organs, quietly doing its job so you can live your life without a second thought. But what happens when this essential organ is threatened? When your liver is in trouble, the consequences can be serious, and sometimes even life-threatening. You might not notice the warning signs at first. Maybe you feel a little more tired than usual, or your skin takes on a yellowish tint. But as the damage progresses, the symptoms become harder to ignore. That's why any threat to liver health is a red flag that doctors and researchers take very seriously. Some patients needed to be hospitalized, receiving IV treatments and close monitoring as doctors worked to stabilize their condition. The spectrum of liver issues was wide, but the potential for serious harm was clear. In the world of medicine, even a small risk to such a critical organ can outweigh the potential benefits of a new drug. Pfizer, the company behind the trials, faced a difficult decision. Should they continue with the studies, hoping the liver problems were rare and manageable? Or should they halt everything to protect patients from further harm? After weighing the evidence and consulting with medical experts, they made the call to pull the plug on the trials. It was a decision that came with financial and scientific setbacks, but patient safety had to come first. It wasn't an easy choice. Years of research, millions of dollars, and the hopes of patients who needed new treatments were all on the line. But in medicine, ethics and responsibility must always guide the way. Sometimes, the hardest decisions are the most important ones. You simply can't take chances with people's health, especially when it comes to organs as vital as the liver. Protecting patients is always the top priority, no matter how promising a new drug might seem. In the end, it's a reminder that in healthcare, safety comes before everything else. Pfizer's decision to halt these pills sent shockwaves through the pharmaceutical industry. Here was a potential blockbuster drug, generating billions in revenue, and they pulled it. Why? Because patient safety comes first, or so they say. Some people criticized Pfizer, accusing them of putting profits over people. Others applauded their decision, praising them for prioritizing safety. Whatever your stance, one thing is clear. This was a defining moment for Pfizer. The news hit hard for people struggling with weight. It promised an easier path to weight loss, a way to finally achieve that elusive goal. Now, that hope is gone. So what now? Back to the drawing board. People are left with the same old options: diet, exercise, and willpower. It's a tough road, but one that many are forced to travel. Despite this setback, the search for effective weight loss treatments continues. Scientists are exploring new avenues, developing innovative therapies that target the root causes of obesity. From gene therapy to personalized medicine, the future of weight loss treatment is full of possibilities. The key is to find solutions that are both safe and effective, a balance that has proven elusive so far. Will they continue investing in weight loss research, or will they focus their efforts elsewhere? Only time will tell. One thing is certain: the demand for effective weight loss solutions is not going away. Pfizer has an opportunity to learn from this experience and come back stronger, developing treatments that truly make a difference. Millions of people are struggling with their weight, facing serious health risks. We need solutions, and we need them now. This is not just about vanity, it's about health, well-being, and longevity. We need to change the way we think about obesity, treating it as a complex medical condition that requires comprehensive solutions. Only then can we hope to win the fight against this global epidemic.